Good morning, everybody. Do you remember when Justin Trudeau said that sunny ways and positive politics would dominate his time in the prime ministership and forming government? I remember that too. But in October of 2018, Trudeau said, and it's reported by Global News, Trudeau says 2019 election will be nasty, but Liberals will strike a positive tone. Thanks, Global News. I'm not going to go through this article because it's just a headline. But here is Liberal MP Adam Vaughn for Spadina, Fort York, saying, quote, "So Ford's gang could get folks upset over hurting kindergarten students instead of being angry over the damage he's done to university students. Next, he'll go after young offenders and end free school and detention centers. Instead of playing whack-a-mole, let's just whack him." Wow. And the comments take Mr. Vaughn to task. There are comments making fun of him, comments tagging the RCMP, comments taking issue with the term whack, or a mob term that is clearly used to encourage violence against somebody, right? And so these are the direct replies to his tweet. Nowhere, and I've looked in other tweets, like replies to other tweets, nowhere have I seen a whack-a-mole meme. Nowhere. The only reference to whack-a-mole that I've seen is in the councillor or the MP's own tweet. And however, that doesn't dissuade him from blaming the whack-a-mole meme. He didn't mean as mob terminology whack the premier. He just meant it as a whack-a-mole game, you know? Adam Vaughn says, quote, "For those concerned about an earlier tweet I posted this morning, please read my attached statement. To all who are offended and missed the original cartoon, whack was in reference to whack-a-mole. Not everyone has seen the cartoon, and without the comment, it lacks context. It was never my intent to suggest anyone anywhere should inflict real physical harm to Premier Ford. To those who took offense, I'm sorry. To those who took offense to me saying, maybe we should whack the Premier, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. No, but I totally meant just play a game with the Premier of whack-a-mole. That's what I meant." And here's the CBC making sure that you understand he's sorry and making sure that you've seen the whack-a-mole memes as well, despite the fact that I looked for them and I didn't look hard. I looked just in the tweets that I showed you, and the links are in the description. But if he's saying that this is the context, it seems lacking in the actual tweets, right? So that's just my take. The Prime Minister's office was also asked for comment. They referred back to Adam Vaughn's original tweet. Unbelievable. And you can read all of that. The links are in the description. Next up, Gatineau Mayor wants his deputy fired for challenging the notion of Islamophobia and saying Muslims don't want to integrate. Is there a handbook of what you can and cannot say in Canada? Does the mayor have the only copy? And it's a link to this CBC article that we'll go through right now. Gatineau, Quebec Mayor wants deputy mayor removed over Islamophobia comments. The mayor of Gatineau, Quebec, wants one of his councillors out of her post as deputy mayor after she said Islamophobia doesn't exist, and she said Muslim immigrants have failed to integrate into society. In the newspaper, I'm not going to say the name because I'm going to get it wrong, Gatineau Councillor Lemieux said she didn't believe Islamophobia exists and didn't recognize the word. She said Quebecers are not as racist as some people suggest. She was responding to comments from Quebec Premier François Legault, who said that there was no need for anti-Islamophobia Day in the province because the problem did not exist in Quebec. She said in the newspaper, when people want to integrate, they do, and Muslim immigrants have chosen not to do so. She said they also do bad things with their trucks, and it's normal to be afraid of them. Scroll down. Mayor wants change. The Gatineau Mayor Maxime Pendot-Jobin, sorry, I've got your name wrong, responded Friday saying that he wants Lemieux out of the post as deputy mayor. He said that she has spoken to other councillors about making the change. "I think she cannot sit as deputy mayor anymore. It saddens me because it goes against everything we have tried to do in Gatineau in the last number of years," he said. He said this cuts against what this city is about. And I scroll down just a little bit and it says normalizes hate. And they've interviewed an imam who says that these kind of words are normalizing hate. I just want to show you, here's the Times of New York. Sorry, that's not the Times of New York. This is the Atlantic reporting. French Prime Minister, and this is back in 2015, quote, "I refuse to use the term Islamophobia," and he talks about how it's a term used to silence people. He says Islamophobia is used, the charge of Islamophobia is used to silence people. Here's another example in thetimes.co.uk. Islamophobia is fiction to shut down debate, and the links are in the description. Here's a Globe and Mail article from last year, February 2018, says Heritage Committee calls for a day of action on Islamophobia, and it says clearly the motion known as M103 sparked heated debate over the definition of Islamophobia, a term some equate with discrimination, but which others say is often used to silence legitimate criticism of Islam. So what's going on in in Gatineau. It seems kind of insane that we've gone from a year ago where you could say, some people say Islamophobia is equal to discrimination. It's not, because if it was equal to discrimination, we have discrimination laws, we just use those. And others say it's used to silence legitimate criticism of Islam. Well, if it's not one, it might be the other, right? And it certainly isn't to deal with discrimination. So, I wonder what it's used for. Let's get that deputy mayor out of her post as soon as possible and stop normalizing hate, right, CBC? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's to silence. Maybe it's to make sure that your critics are identified and removed from high-placed office so you can carry forward with your plan uninterrupted. Maybe. Just maybe. Here is the last story, and holy cow. I'm burying the lead on this one, but I could probably do just a video on these 3 tabs. This one's insane. So I saw this tweet, and it says, Canada's Somali-born Minister of Immigration, Ahmed Hussen, is inviting immigrants from Pakistan, the world's premier state sponsor of jihad and Islamic terrorism. Yeah, this is happening. Here's a 45-second clip. We'll watch all of it, and then I'll show you what he's talking about at the end. What is a startup visa? Here we go.
Invest in Canada and scale up. It's good for both countries. And so we have a program in Immigration Canada that most of you may not have heard of. It's called the Startup Visa Program, where if you're a promising startup and you want to move to Canada, not only will we allow you to do that, we will give you permanent residency. Even though the program is called a startup visa, it's actually a permanent residency program, where the owner, the CEO, the family members, the workers will all be given permanent residency to come and scale up in Canada. So I know that Pakistan has a very thriving startup industry, but they may not have access to venture capital the way that we do in Canada. So this is an opportunity for both countries to win.
Right? Did your jaw hit the floor too? Here is the Startup Visa Program. Here's about the process. Canada's Startup Visa Program targets immigrant entrepreneurs with the skills and potential to build businesses in Canada that are innovative, can create jobs for Canadians, can compete on a global scale. Do you have an innovative business idea? If you can get support for your idea from one of the designated organizations, you may be able to immigrate to Canada. Want to live in Quebec? Hold on. The province of Quebec is in charge of its own business immigration program. If you want to live in Quebec, visit here. Interesting, right? Who can apply? Let's see who can apply. A qualifying business means you created a business that meets the following conditions. At the time you get a commitment from a designated organization, each applicant holds 10% or more of the voting rights attached to all shares of the corporation outstanding at the time. Up to 5 people can apply as owners. Right? 5 people, just come on in. Permanent residency program. This is a permanent residency program. 5 people, just come on in. At the time you receive your permanent residence, you provide active and ongoing management of this business from within Canada. An essential part of the business operation happens in Canada, and the business is incorporated in Canada. And the links are in the description. You can look for yourself. Here's Operation Sidewinder. This is 1997 operation between RCMP and CSIS, and it looks like they took this operation and said, you know what we could do with this? We could turn this into an immigration program, guys. Let's just give them permanent residency. They seem to like it. Here's from Operation Sidewinder. To that end, they proceed initially to buy and or legally set up a company in Canada that, once under their control, buys other companies and so on. An effective domino effect ensues that acts like a well-spun web or network at strategic points. It looks like they have just decided to roll out a very dangerous program that is not beneficial to Canadians. And I can't believe that there isn't more pushback from MPs, from the Conservative Party of Canada, from absolutely everybody. Our own systems are being weaponized against us in order to facilitate movement of foreign entities into Canada with government support. Can we not use the money to support Canadian businesses who are failing under the crippling tax structure that Canada insists on? So frustrating. So, thank you for watching, everyone. This video took 3 or 4 false starts, so I apologize for being late this morning. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Thanks for watching. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca and hopefully get some sanity back into our foreign policy and domestic policy. This is crazy. And also some decorum, eh? Get rid of this guy. Holy cow. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.